For Victims and Villains, my name is Houston.
And I'm the problem.
And today we're talking about Project Hail Mary. If you guys are new to our content here at Victims and Villains, we are a nonprofit that does multimedia content to talk about mental health education through pop culture and events like Project Hail Mary. And first and foremost, if you or someone you know is struggling with suicide, addiction, self-harm, or depression, please click the links in our show notes below to check out our mental health resource library. On this episode of A Mental Health Moment, we are looking into the film Project Hail Mary. And I think this film is a stark reminder of how even when circumstances feel grim, community can come from really unexpected places.
Community in unique places, definitely. I also think, though, hope. I think hope is something that can so easily die or be destroyed, that having hope and the hope we see throughout the movie and the way it changes, that is something powerful.
So this is definitely going to be veering into spoiler territory. So if you guys have not seen Project Hail Mary, please hit pause, come back. But if you guys would like to check out our spoiler-free review and still haven't seen the movie yet, you guys can click right here in this corner over here to check it out. But if you're still with us, we're getting ready to hit into spoiler territory in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, if you're still with us, we're blasting off into spoiler territory. But I think when you look at the character journey that Grace has throughout the course of the year, I mean, this film is essentially told in a dual narrative where you have the past leading up to the events of how he actually came to be on the ship, and then you actually have his journey of trying to get back home. And when you kind of look at the past, so much of that is fixated on this, you said, like this hopelessness. And I think it's really kind of this idea of his definition of what hope is, and the community that often comes along with that becomes reinvigorated or redefined the closer that he actually gets to Rocky.
Oh, and it's so easy to slip into hopelessness when you're in a situation where you're isolated from the rest of the world. I mean, at this point, the trajectory that he is on, he had enough fuel to get to his destination, but it would be a very one-way ticket type situation. And I think it goes into that a little bit too. And we actually hear some of the astronauts choose their preferred way of ending it because they know they have, only a certain amount of time before all their resources run out.
I think even past Grace, you also see a lot of those commonalities with Rocky. I mean, here is essentially a being that has fallen under Superman syndrome, where he is the last of his breed and the last of his kind up until the final frames of the movie. But they're kind of on the same trajectory, and it's not until that they meet one another that spark of hope really revives for them. And I think there's so many times in each of our own mental health journeys, I know myself included in that, is that so much times it can slowly just kind of feel like life, you're just drifting through space, and then you just have this chance encounter with someone or a group of people, or you find a new hobby or whatever it is, and it's that spark of hope gives you a reason to not drift anymore, but really invest.
The more you invest, the more the investment becomes invigorating. The more invigoration you have, the more time, and time is the most valuable thing you can give, guys, as we've all learned. But the more time you have to invest back into the community that's investing in you, even when you're at your lowest, you may not necessarily see it in that moment of hopelessness, but we do see those pure moments of community between Grace and Rocky.
I think probably one of the most satisfying and almost juxtaposed moments within this film is how hopeless he looks when he's essentially forced into the mission, but also this moment of satisfaction as the film closes, and you just see this utter joy that's in his life. And I think when you have those moments and you think about, where you are in your mental health journey, whether, a year ago you were like me and highly depressed and uh, just not wanting to really find reasons to kind of keep going, and you just invested into the routine, not necessarily into the passions of life. It's really easy to kind of have those pre-trip moments, and then you flip it around and you find something that's worth investing into, something that's worth your smile. It's worth it to stay until tomorrow, and that tomorrow may be several months away, but it's worth holding on to. Once again, if you or someone you know is struggling with suicide, addiction, self-harm, or depression, please click the link in our show notes below. Check out our mental health resource library. Project Hail Mary is now playing in theaters everywhere. In the show notes below, you guys will additionally also find links on where you guys can find listings in your local city.